Hi, it's Brian Newman with the Spotlight of Business Owner Show, and today we're thrilled to have Mia Cooke. She's with Windsong Travel. Hi, Mia. How are you?
I'm doing great, Brian. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. Hey, thanks for coming on the show. Boy, really excited to interview you and to let other people know about your business. Before we get into it, can you let people know about your background and how did you get started in the travel agency business?
Okay, so I actually have been in the travel and tourism industry for almost 16 years now. I started off being a flight attendant with an airline here that's based in Phoenix. Have worked for 4 airlines now and a plethora of Hilton properties as well. I also worked with Airmark booking stuff for like the hotels and tours in several of the state and national parks. And over the course of all this, I wound up referring people to certain activities in certain areas that they were going to, especially in the Pacific Northwest, which is actually where I'm from. I'm originally from the Vancouver, Portland metro area, so in Southwest Washington. So
Oh,
I often would direct people to go to certain places around Portland and Seattle and everything like that. And I'm like, I could do this as a living, and I've tried to get in as a travel agency with like brick and mortar places before, and it just didn't work out. And then I came across an opportunity back in October. I'm like, well, I can work for myself with this, so let's go with that. So
oh, oh, that is cool. That is
yeah.
cool. No, so and yeah, I know you're a member of my group, and I've heard your presentations before. It's very, very cool business. Windsong, the name Windsong. How did you come up with that name?
It's actually a play on my grandmother's maiden name. My grandparents instilled a love for travel in me, and I was very close to my grandmother, who her name was Kay Wysong. And so Wysong travel sounded a little weird to me. And as I was talking with my sisters, we kind of came up with Windsong being very similar to Wysong, and we just kind of went with that because I figured Windsong would be a little bit more memorable than Wysong.
Yeah, no, it is eye-catchy. So what? No, what travel specialties do you offer?
So I actually hold certifications with at least 3 different groups. I'm working on more every day. I currently hold certification. I can book specifically. Let me try that again. Uh, I actually can book with ETS Travel, which is the Educational Travel Services, and they actually do Holy Land excursions and um, Catholic with sojourns.
Okay.
Catholic Church calls it differently than non-denominational Christian churches do. But so like with ETS, I can book for church groups doing Holy Land excursions or sojourns so that they can go as a group. And there's certain kickbacks and benefits for whoever's organizing it with that particular church, where if they book so many, then they can get to go for free, or them and their spouse, depending on the situation, can go for free, which is really nice. Disney is another vendor that I work with specifically, and they actually require the agents who book with them to be certified through their system. So I actually do hold certification for being able to book Disney. And the very first one I ever got was actually with Royal Caribbean. So I work
Oh,
specifically with
wow.
Royal Caribbean and their affiliates, and I'm working on adding more every day. But I actually have gone through all their trainings for both Royal Caribbean and Disney. And so I'm able to book with them, immediately get special rates, special packages. If you watch any of the pages that I post to, because I do post ads on Facebook, every so often I'll come up with, I'll have like a special like deal that comes up that I can get you, or I'll send up a reminder about something that's happening or something that's changing. Um, for example, there's a food event coming up at Disney World in Epcot that's coming up pretty soon. Um, the Travels by Disney, the Disney Adventures, they had some updates to their COVID policies. So I actually posted that about a month ago when that came out. So not only am I posting like events for like or specials for like other things, but if you watch specifically for Royal Caribbean and Disney, those are coming directly from those specific groups
Oh,
from emails that I personally am receiving from them.
very,
So.
Yes, cost. I know people are always curious, like what's it going to cost me to use a travel agent versus going in online and doing it themselves? Can you get into that a little bit?
Of course. So booking with a travel agency, or even specifically just me, versus booking for yourself, it may be just a smidge more to book through me, but that's because I'm making sure I'm getting the best for what you can afford. So basically, whenever we have a consultation, I ask you, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What is your budget? And I will try to find the best I can find in using those parameters. And the nice thing about that is that I can actually make sure you get those levels that you're wanting. So if you're wanting, like, say you're going on a special trip with your significant other and you want a really nice room, I could make sure that you have that really nice room or get you a really nice room in a hotel in the area that you're wanting to go to. Whereas if you were to book it yourself through through the Expedia or Travelocity or something like that, what they sell are bulk rooms, which basically is first come, first serve, and it tends to be the most basic room that they have available. So you're not going to have
Oh,
the best views. You'll probably be facing over the parking lot. Probably you're not going to have a very high floor. So it actually winds up being better for you in the long end for me to go through me or through another travel agency, because we can actually make sure you get what you're looking for rather than you showing up to the hotel saying, hey, I wanted something with, say, if you're to book, say, the Embassy Suites at Phoenix Scottsdale by the golf course. I want a golf course view. And then you
mhm.
wound up with something facing the parking lot because you booked through a third party or booked specifically through Expedia or Travelocity. And even though you requested that type of room, you got the bulk fare and you got stuck in a first floor room facing the parking lot.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, Mia, can you let people know how would they get in touch with you if they have questions or if they want to book with you? Do you have a website they can go to, or would you rather them call you?
I do have a website, but it's easier to get a hold of me through Facebook. So facebook.com/Windsong Travel Co. Also, if you're looking over Brian's shoulder, that's my phone number, 602-568-9363. You can call me, text me, send me a message through Facebook, and we can schedule a consultation. But if you do want to go to my website, it's Evo Travel Agent /Windsong Travel. Um, Actually, I'll check that. Yeah, evotravelagent.com/Windsong Travel. I can never remember that because I never ever use it.
Jeez.
I just use my Facebook page and my phone, honestly. But
Oh,
it's there
okay.
if you want to like see the travel deals, because I actually am I'm an independent contractor through Evolution and Archer Travel. So I'm basically a franchisee. They're who I'm under, they're the umbrella I'm under. So my website's through them right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with COVID upon us again, I thought it was over with, but not
I think we
nearly.
all did.
I know it's just the beginning of another one. But COVID restrictions, can you let people know about those when they're either traveling in the air or on a cruise?
Of course. So the COVID trends restrictions are going to vary depending on what you're using. Um, Nationally, anytime you're traveling on anything like a bus, a plane, anything like that, you do have to wear your mask. So it is required in the airport, on the aircraft, and if you're taking like ride share, you do have to wear your mask. That is a requirement right now. That restriction was supposed to have been lifted literally last week, but it got extended out to March. The tentative release date for that would be March 18th, and hopefully won't be extended again, but that's just where we're sitting right now. As far as cruise lines go, it's up to the individual cruise line. Some will require you to wear masks in the indoor areas. And then when you're in the exterior areas like the pool and stuff like that, you don't have to wear it. Some leave it up to your discretion. All cruise lines that I've come in contact with do require you to be vaccinated to be on board. And that's just for the protection of their crew and their employees that work on board, because they are at sea for months at a time. And if they get exposed to COVID, then they're locked in there very tiny room
Oh,
for an
wow.
extended period. And this is just to keep everybody healthy and keep the cruise line going. Because if one crew member gets, in fact, it gets COVID, then a lot of them are going to get COVID more than
Yeah.
likely. And it can spread. And that means no more cruises for a while for people. So just for the safety of the crew and the employees with the travel for the cruise line, please, if you're able to, get vaccinated. Um, I understand that some people can't or have reasons why they won't, and that's entirely up to you. I'm not making any judgments. I'm just letting you know this is what the cruise lines are requiring. Hopefully, once the pandemic dies down, those restrictions will be lifted again. But for now, they are requiring you to be vaccinated to be on board.
Are cruises popular still, or are they
They
kind of
are.
slow right now? Oh,
They,
really?
oh yeah, because what's really nice about taking a cruise is that it's all inclusive. Um, occasionally, a lot of them will require you, like if you're going to purchase alcoholic drinks, they have packages so you can add that onto your cruise package. So
Yeah,
you can get
yeah.
alcoholic drinks like wine or mixers or beer or whatever while you're cruising.
Hmm.
But generally, your food, your drinks, your non-alcoholic drinks are going to be included in your fare when you book. So it's all inclusive, and the only thing extra you have to pay for when you take a cruise are your excursions and alcohol.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so what's the smallest travel arrangement you've ever done before?
So there was a little bit of a disagreement about this on Thursday because I that was actually something that was asked of me on Thursday during my presentation, and I had said it was my brother. He goes to school at St. Mary's in Bismarck, North Dakota, and he was going home to Portland for vacation for Christmas vacation. I said that was the smallest that I booked was his flight to and from school or from and to back to school.
Oh, okay.
And Doug, who I'd actually booked a hotel room for the Christmas mixer,
Uh-huh.
disagreed with me. He says, "No, no, I was your smallest." Um, but I was looking at it as like as much like as far as like what I made off of it, honestly. Because with my brother, because I don't actually get commission for booking just strictly airline. If I book airline and like a hotel, then I'll get the commission. But if I'm just booking the airline, I don't get anything. So I charged my brother like $20
Oh, wow.
to do that
Wow.
for him so that which was still less than what he would have had to pay if he just gone straight through the airline or through a third party because I have a way of booking that I could get a lower rate on. I went through a website that I could get a kickback on that, so I didn't charge him as much because I got a bit of a kickback from booking his flights.
Oh, okay.
um,
What's the
but really,
largest?
like, I got a little bit more commission off of his one night hotel room than I did off of booking a round trip flight for my little brother. So
Oh, okay. No, what's the biggest vacation arrangements you've ever made?
honestly, whichever one was not this. So basically, Doug.
Oh,
Doug's one.
really? Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm still pretty new at this. I've had a few people ask me for quotes for pretty large things. For example, my aunt had reached out to me about booking a cruise for next year, and it wound up being more expensive than what they were anticipating, what they were expecting to pay. Because they didn't really
Uh-huh.
give me a budget. They just said we want these types of rooms, and I gave it to her, and she was kind of playing middleman between me and her sister-in-law,
Oh,
and her
wow.
sister-in-law kind of balked at the price.
Oh,
And
okay.
then just this last week, my brother reached my one of my other brothers. I've got a bajillion brothers, but one of my younger brothers who's getting married in March, and he asked me to help him book his travel arrangements for his bachelor trip.
Oh,
And he wanted to go to Vegas, wanted to set up something on the strip, and he again did not give me a budget. Even though I asked for one, he just said he wanted to do it as affordably as possible, but he didn't want to get locked in with like a specific budget.
oh, okay.
He's like, I want on the strip, preferably one of these hotels. And I'm like, okay. So I went through and I found, and he was like bringing in like a few people from Portland and like a person from Wyoming, I think it was. And
Oh,
like the way I had to book it, like it wound up being altogether like 4,000 something dollars for 6 people. And he's like, that's way too expensive. I'm like, well, you're going to go to Vegas on the strip. Like,
oh,
if you let me
wow.
book you at the Hard Rock Hotel, it probably would have been a little bit more affordable.
Yeah. Oh, no. No, also one final question. Travel insurance. Do you actually encourage people to get this? Do you provide it?
I
Or
do
how?
encourage people to get travel insurance, especially with the pandemic, because a lot of times when we're booking flights specifically, they tend to be non-refundable. The most affordable ones tend to be non-refundable. Now, I can always book you a refundable fare for a flight if that's part of your travel plans. And if you can afford it, I would strongly recommend getting a refundable fare. But when it comes to travel insurance, it's always a really good idea just in case something happens. Um,
Mhm.
because that'll protect you from, COVID, or if, God forbid, there's a death in the family, some kind of emergency, that will protect you and what you're paying. And I have access to a few different insurance vendors that I can go through for travel insurance.
Oh,
Also, when you're traveling um, internationally, some places do require you to have health insurance to go in. So, like Mexico, Puerto Rico, and various other places will require you to have some kind of medical insurance, especially now that we're dealing with COVID, and we don't know how long this. Hopefully, the pandemic will start dying down again, and you know, from what I'm hearing, it'll never actually completely go away. It'll just kind of, as people get vaccinated and like more people are able to get vaccinated, then it'll hopefully just kind of like get to the point where it's kind of a negligible risk kind of thing.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it'll
but
probably be like the flu. That's what I'm.
yeah, kind of like where they encourage you to get like a booster every year, like they do with the flu, kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah.
No, so yeah, once again, can you let people know how can they get in touch with you?
Of course. Easiest way of getting a hold of me is through Facebook, facebook.com/Windsong Travel Co. And again, if you watch any of the one-on-one network pages, you're bound to see at least an ad a week pop up, because I do try to include 2 or 3 of them every single day when I'm posting
Oh,
my
wow.
advertisements. And I post on a variety because there's so many of them. I do try to like hit a few of them every,
Uh-huh.
or 2 or 3 of them every single time I go through, because I've gotten such interest from the networking group. And so
Oh,
I'm
good.
hoping that, as things go on, because I mean, Doug was thrilled with what I was able to do for him with just one night.
Uh-huh.
So I'm hoping that as the word spreads about that kind of stuff, that I'll get more clients and eventually start kind of branching out. So,
Oh, that'd be great. So yeah, so our viewers reach her at 602-568-9363. Yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, and she'll direct you as to the website that you can go to again. But yeah, thank you, Mia, for being on the show. Yeah, it's great to see you. And yeah, happy travels. All right. We'll talk to
all
you soon.
right. Thank you for having me, Brian.
Okay.